Hi everyone, I'm Professor Sahab Goda Patil, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, BND CET Vijaypura. So I welcome you all for this cloud computing lecture. So in this lecture, I'll be talking about the concepts like existing cloud application and new opportunities. One second. Okay. So existing cloud applications and new opportunities. And next we have architectural styles for cloud application. So these two topics which I'm going to cover in this particular lecture. So which are those existing cloud applications? We are going to see the cloud applications, existing cloud applications, and some of the new opportunities, and also architectural style for the cloud application. So these two concepts which I'm going to cover in the today's class. So here we have the first one is that is existing and new application opportunities. So what are the existing and new application opportunities? So existing cloud applications can be divided into several broad categories. So we have mainly three categories. The first category that is processing pipeline. The second category batch processing system. The third category that is web application. So we have three categories here. So processing pipeline are data intensive. These processing pipelines are data intensive application, sometimes compute intensive applications, and represent fairly a large segment of applications currently running on the cloud. So here the several types of data processing application that can be seen in the later part. So we'll see what are these potentially new applications. So we have a batch processing, the first classification. So batch processing for decision support system and business analytics. So normally this batch processing pipeline, or we can call it as a batch processing. So this can be used for the decision support. Mainly this is used for the decision support system and business analytics. And it also used for mobile interactive applications. It also used for mobile interactive applications which process large volume of data from different types of sensors, So it is one of the application which comes under processing pipeline, or we can also call batch processing system. So next we have science and engineering could greatly benefit from cloud computing because many applications in these areas are compute and data intensive. Remember, the application, it belongs to the science and engineering. So here in this, it greatly benefit from the cloud computing because many applications in this area are compute and data intensive. So compute and data intensive. So because it is compute and data intensive, a cloud is dedicated to education would be extremely useful. So in education sector, it is extremely useful because this batch processing, it is compute intensive and it is data intensive as well. We heard the term that is MATLAB. Okay, so MATLAB is one of the tool which we used. It can also run on the cloud. So mathematical software, it such as MATLAB and Mathematica. So one more that is we call it as a MATLAB and one more Mathematica. These two can be run on the cloud. So these two which belong to the processing pipeline, that is batch processing system. So hope you understood this existing cloud application. So next we have the detail about processing pipeline, that is the several types of data processing applications that can be classified. The first one is indexing, data mining, image processing, the video transcoding, and document processing. So we'll see in detail one by one. The first one, indexing. The processing pipeline supports indexing of large data sets. It supports for the large data sets created by web crawler engines. So these large data sets are created by web crawler engine. So where the indexing plays a very important role. The second one we have data mining. The processing pipeline supports searching very large collection of records. It searches a very large collection of records to locate items of interest. So what does it mean to locate items of interest? So we are going to segregate data which is relevant. So the relevant data we are going to search and we are going to keep it in one particular location. So that is what we call it as data mining. So you might have like experience. So in YouTube, what happens whenever you use the keyword to search any kind of video, so suppose if you search a video related to the sports, okay. So what happens? The similar video, sports related video, it will recommend. So it will recommend, isn't it? So this data mining, what it does, large collection of records to locate items of the interest. Okay, interest means same kind of data it is going to search and locate. Next, we have the image processing. A number of companies allow users to store their images on the cloud. Example like flickr.com. So that is FLICKR, flickr.com. So https flickr.com, sorry, www worldwideweb.flickr.com, and Google for that picasa.google.com. For Google we have picasa.google.com. Okay, so where number of companies allow users to store their images in these two links. Okay, so here the image processing pipeline support image conversion. So image conversion means it is convert large collection of documents from, sorry, we are talking about image. So image conversion, that is enlarge an image or create a thumbnail. Enlarge an image or create a thumbnail, it means that, so this is for the converting the image, and they can also be used to compress or encrypt the images. Okay, so compressing, that is required to reduce the size of the image. Encrypting means we are providing security to the image. Okay, so these comes under image processing. So next we have video transcoding. So what do you mean by video transcoding? It's the processing pipeline transports from one video format to another. So it means that if we have the format like AVI, okay, from AVI to MPEG, okay. So it means transcoding means format, okay, converting from one form into another form. That is what we call it as a video transcoding. So next we have document processing. So document processing here, the processing pipeline converts very large collection of documents from one format to the another format. The collection of document will be huge. Okay, so we are converting from one format into another form. For example, from Word to PDF. Okay, or encrypts the documents. So how it is going to encrypt? It could also use optical character recognition. We call it as a OCR, optical character recognition. OCR can be used to produce digital images of a document. So what it does, it produces digital images of the document. So these all are related to the document processing. Hope you have understood this first case, that is processing pipeline. So next we have the batch processing applications. So batch processing applications we can see in detail. So what is batch processing application? So batch processing system also covers a broad spectrum of what data intensive application. Okay, what it does? So it covers broad spectrum, that is data intensive application. There are many two kinds of applications, that is compute intensive and data intensive. Okay, so batch processing which covers broad spectrum of data intensive application in enterprise computing, which covers in enterprise computing. So apart from this, security is also one of the concern in the batch processing. Security is also one of the concern. Security is also a critical aspect for many applications for batch processing. So we have a non-exhaustive list of batch processing applications, which includes, we'll see one by one, that is generation of daily, weekly, monthly, and annual activity reports for retail, manufacturing, and other economical sectors. So this is the list of batch processing application that include. Next, it also includes processing, aggregation, and summaries of daily transactions for financial institutions, insurance companies, and healthcare organizations. So next we have processing, billing, and payroll records. And it also includes management of the software development, that is nightly updates of the software repositories. So what do you mean by nightly update of the software repository means? So based some of the management like software development tool, so we need to update okay in that particular time. Okay, so next we have automatic testing and verification of software and hardware system. So software and hardware system automatic testing and verification can be done. So it is also included in the batch processing application. The third one we have web access. Web access. So finally, and of increasing of importance of cloud applications in the area of web access. So several categories of websites have a periodic or a temporary presence, such as the websites for the conference and other events. So the websites, you might have heard this term. This can be used for conference and other events. So the active during the particular season. Okay, what do you mean by this? Active for the particular season. Season means a holiday season or that supports a particular type of activity, such as income tax reporting within the April 15 deadline each year. Okay, so we have to, there will be a deadline will be given for income tax reporting. So it means that at that particular time only they are supposed to do that activity. And other limited time websites used for promotional activities. So what are those promotional activities? The promotional activities like promotional activities, sleep during the night and auto scale during the day. So this is the same promotion activity includes sleep during the night and auto scale during the day. So these are some of the like activities which comes under the third category, that is web access. That is web access. So next we have the next concept, that is architectural styles for cloud applications. So here, cloud computing is mainly based on the client server paradigm. Okay, so it's mainly based on what? Client server paradigm. So you know what do you mean by a client server paradigm? It's very simple. It's very simple. So what client does? Client requests a server, so for the data which he wanted. So if the server has that data, it will respond to the client with that particular data. Suppose the server it doesn't have any kind of data which is requested by the client, then it will respond with the message that okay, so negative acknowledgement. Okay, so this is how the client server paradigm works. The architecture style for cloud computing application, it mainly based on client server paradigm. So it means that the vast majority of cloud applications take advantage of request response communication. As I told you, request response means client will request and server will response back. This communication is called as a request response communication between whom? Between clients and the stateless servers. So we call it as a one more term, that is a stateless server. So what do you mean by stateless servers? Stateless server does not require a client to first establish a connection to the server. Instead, it leaves a client request as an independent transaction and respond to it. It means that the client is not required to first establish a connection to the server. Okay, so this kind of server is called as what? Stateless server. This kind of server is called as a stateless server. So here the terms call it as a RPC. What do you mean by RPC? That is remote procedural call, RPCs. Okay. So often client and server communicate using that is RPC, remote procedure call. So we have two more terms before we move to that. We talk about more about stateless server. A stateless system is a simpler, more robust and scalable. It is simpler one, more robust one and scalable. Very often the application clients and servers running on the cloud communicate using, as I told you, RPC, that is remote procedure call. Okay, so these RPCs based applications use stubs. Okay, so RPC based applications which uses what? Stubs. So these stubs are used for converting the parameters involved in an RPC call. It converts a what? Parameter. So those parameters are involved in where? RPC call. RPC call means the communication call between the client and server. Okay, so next we have two more important concept, that is a SOAP. Okay, you might have heard this term, this protocol, SOAP protocol, and another one is REST. So what do you mean by SOAP? It is the simple object access protocol. What is this? It is a simple object access protocol. Is an application protocol. It is what? It is an application protocol developed in 1998. Okay, it is developed in 1998 for web applications. It is mainly used for what? Web applications. Its message format is based on the extensible markup language, that is called as a XML. Okay, the SOAP uses TCP, more recently UDP transport protocol. It means that it is also uses TCP as well as UDP for transport protocol. It can also be stacked above other application layer protocols such as HTTP, HTTP and SMTP. So what is HTTP? HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So it is an application protocol used for web applications. So the message format is based on XML and it uses the protocol like TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, UDP, User Datagram Protocol, and also it uses HTTP and SMTP. Okay. So next we have REST, that is representational state transfer. Representational state transfer. It is a style of software architecture for distributed hypermedia system. What is this? It is a style of software architecture for distributed hypermedia system. REST, it supports a client communication with stateless server. So we have seen what do you mean by stateless server so far. So it supports what? Client communication with a stateless server. It is a platform and language independent. Remember, it is a platform independent as well as it is language independent. It supports data caching. It supports data caching and can be used in the presence of firewalls. Okay, so why? What is the use of a firewall? Firewall we used in the network concept. So where the unauthorized person, like it prevent the unauthorized person to access the data. The REST almost always uses the HTTP. So REST it almost uses the HTTP. I have told you what I mean by HTTP. So HTTP, it is used to support all four categories. It means that HTTP used for create, and it is used for read, it is used for update, and it is also used for the delete. So REST uses HTTP for these two operations. So this operation is called as CRUD. Okay. So CRUD means what? Create, read, update, and delete. Okay. It uses REST also uses a get, it uses a put, it uses delete, sorry, okay, it uses delete, right, delete to read, write, and delete the data respectively. Get is used for what? Read the data. Put is used for what? Write the data. And this delete is used for deleting the data respectively. So this is all about the SOAP and REST. Okay. So hope you have understood architectural style for the cloud application. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like the video, uh, share the video, and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.